John and I are back after a much needed rest to force the remaining piece of the spiral into the measurements that we want. This is getting harder as the leverage is getting shorter and shorter. Here John is cutting our 1/2-inch steel with his amazing saw. You can see how quickly he can actually go through this steel with this gigundo blade and the oil that looks like milk running on it. Now John and I are trying to place some of the last horizontals. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. But we're almost there. The piece is looking pretty good. As you can see, it's pretty uniform, and now we just have a few remaining pieces to put in place. And then we have to battle the very end of the sculpture, which is hardest, again because there's no leverage to work with on the metal. So instead, we're working with numerous clamps. As you see it now, there's probably over 10 clamps on this form to force just the remaining rotation into the measurements that we want it to be in. The clamps are moved and renegotiated again until it's just right, and John decides that he actually can weld somewhere on this piece to make this metal stay where we want it and not go where it wants to go. Here we are. There's all the clamps for the remaining 8 inches of the DNA sculpture. We have one more bend, and then we're just going to cut off the very tips, and now the sculpture can stand. We have decided that we have to put an upright down the center of the piece. So I'm hanging it so gravity works with us, and John is welding in some very heavy-duty 1-inch solid steel rod to stop the compression, because what we've actually made here in the DNA totem is a giant spring. So these pieces of metal will stop the compression of the unit. They'll basically be covered and embedded into the sculpture later. Here it is, finally done. We're very happy with it, and we hope you guys get a better idea of what we're actually building. Now we have to put a base on it.